The content of the presentation this morning will be the main features of the call, the proposal evaluation, proposal submission, and then a little bit how it looks in the IT system so that you are familiar with it if you intend to submit a proposal. About the main features of the MSCA and Citizens call, well, the main objectives are to bring research and researchers closer to the public, show the role of the researcher for the society and economy, and raise the interest of young people in research careers, address the general public with a specific focus on families, pupils, and students. And these objectives will be pursued through the organization of the European Researchers' Night and the implementation of the Researchers at the Schools initiative. About the expected impacts of the call is to enhance engagement with citizens, increase awareness among the general public of the importance and benefits of research and innovation, diffusion and promotion of excellence research projects, raise interest of young people in science and research careers, better understanding of the European Union, and support school researchers in developing a scientific approach around priority topics. On the expected outcome for researchers, enhance opportunities to interact with citizens at local, regional, and national authorities, improved communication skills and competencies to interact with a non-research audience, and for organizations, increased reputation and visibility of participating organizations, researchers' work made more tangible, improved outreach of all audiences, and notably those who do not have an easy access to science and research activities, and better communication of research and innovation results and activities to society. About the scope of the call, the proposals should cover both the organization of the European Researchers' Night and the implementation of the Researchers at the Schools initiative. This is important because if not, you will not get full marks in excellence in case you don't do so. We will see it later in the award criteria. The European Researchers' Night takes place every year on the last Friday of September, and this is important as well. You should not deviate from this date unless it is a very strong cultural reason, and if you deviate, you need to justify it. Pre-events and post-events can also be organized. The European Researchers' Night targets the general public, addressing people regardless of the level of their scientific background, and a special focus on young people and their families, pupils, and students. The Researchers at the Schools initiative brings researchers to the schools to interact with pupils at any time during the project duration. So the types of the European Researchers' Night activities. Activities can combine education with entertainment, and they can take various forms, such as exhibitions, hands-on experiments, science shows, simulations, debates, games, competitions, quizzes, theater. Well, this is a non-extensive list because in fact, the coordinators, they have a lot of imagination and they are creative, and so every year you see new activities, and so there is no limit for this. Where appropriate, engagement with educational institutions should be sought. And on the research at the school activities, the activities will allow researchers to showcase their work and interact with pupils. Researchers will engage with teachers and pupils on challenges related to climate change, sustainable development, health, and other European Commission priorities, such as the European Green Deal or the EU missions. And you have the link there to the missions, like they are, for example, on soil, on cancer, ocean, but you have the link there. You would like to have more details. Yeah, other features are that the European Researchers' Night should be highlighted as a European and European-wide event, and each proposal should promote the European Union and its impact on citizens' daily life. The research and school activities should take place at any time during the project duration and should be subject to a dedicated promotion. Involvement of researchers funded by Horizon Europe or previous framework programs is encouraged. Both types of activities have to promote gender balance, diversity, and inclusiveness in science. Partnerships and coordination at regional, national, or cross-border levels are encouraged. And high-quality applications not retained due to lack of funding may be granted the status of associated events. This means basically that you are allowed to use our brand, let's say, but you will not get funding in that case. Eligible participants are the applications may be submitted by one or more legal entities established in an EU member state or Horizon Europe associated country. Activities carried out in non-associated third countries are not eligible for funding. The project duration, maximum 24 months from the starting date. Applicants are encouraged to submit proposals covering two successive editions, so 2024 and 2025, of the European Researchers' Night and implementation of research at school activities anytime during the project duration. On the funding mechanism, how does it work? So eligible cost will take the form of lump sum contributions. The expected EU contribution per project is between €50,000 and €150,000 per annual edition. For example, the expected EU contribution requested for a proposal covering 2024 and 2025 would be between €100,000 and €300,000. The applicants propose a lump sum based on a detailed estimation of costs. Following the evaluation of the proposal, an individual lump sum is fixed in each grant agreement. This detailed estimation of costs will be done through an Excel file. We'll see later where you have this Excel file, how you have to operate with it. So we carry on with the funding mechanism. As commented, the proposal must contain the detailed budget per beneficiary, and it has to contain the direct cost, which are the personnel cost, subcontracting cost, purchase costs, and other cost categories. And then on the indirect cost is the 25% flat rate to the direct cost that qualify. The lump sum is calculated by applying the applicable reimbursement rate, 100% in this case. In addition, applicants must provide the split of the lump sum per beneficiary and per work package. But this split will be done within the Excel file that I tell you about, which has we will make the calculation. The payment is linked to the completion of the work packages. One thing is the reimbursement rate, which is 100% as commented, but this doesn't mean that you are obliged to ask for the 100% of the budget. There are proposals in which, for example, they ask for €100,000, €200,000, and then they put part of the funding themselves. So in the part A, you will put the requested easy contribution per partner. So on the proposal evaluation, how does it work? This is a bit the overview of the process in which we have the reception of the proposals, the individual evaluation, consensus group. So let's go one by one. First, we receive the proposals. We have to be submitted before the deadline, which is 25th of October, 2023. So and then it's our duty to do the admissibility eligibility check, and then we allocate the proposals to the evaluators. Then comes the individual evaluation phase, in which experts separately or individually, they do the evaluation, and the minimum of 3 experts per proposal. And then typically in our call, we bring the experts to Brussels, and then they sit in the consensus group. So basically, they discuss every award criteria and they come to a common position. And then at the end of the week, once all the consensus groups have met, then there is the panel review in which the consistency across evaluation is checked. So it's a sort of calibration. And then as a result, we have a ranked list, which then is consulted with the Education and Culture and then is confirmed. But I have not seen never a deviation from the ranked list. So whatever is decided by the expert stays typically there, unless it's justified. And then which are the award criteria? So first of all, the excellence. As you see in brackets, I quote it as it is written in the work program, in the annexes of the work program, that the following aspects will be taken into account to the extent that the proposed work corresponds to the description in the work program. This is what I said before. If a proposal is not aiming at covering both European Research Night and research at the schools, they will not be considered that they are fully on scope, and then typically they would have lower marks in this criterion. The excellence criterion includes the clarity and pertinence of the project objectives and the quality of the proposed coordination and or support measures, including soundness of the methodology. Then on the impact, they will judge the credibility of the pathways to achieve the expected outcomes and impacts specified in the work program, and the likely scale and significance of the contributions from the project. Then the suitability and quality of the measures to maximize expected outcomes and impacts as set out in the dissemination exploitation plan, including communication activities. And then finally, the quality and efficiency of the implementation. Quality and effectiveness of the work plan, assessment of risks, and appropriateness of the effort assigned to work packages and resources overall. And then capacity and role of each participant and the extent to which the consortium as a whole brings together the necessary expertise. This sounds rather difficult or abstract, I would say, but you will be provided with a template for the part B in which it is explained all the aspects that we expect to see in each of these criteria, in each of the criterion, and then you will see much more easy which aspect you need to include in all of them. This template should be available soon, the latest by the opening of the call, but it should be soon. And then on the scoring, the evaluation scores will be awarded for the 3 criteria just mentioned, and not for the different sub-criteria in each criteria. Each criterion will be scored out of 5, and the threshold for the individual criteria will be 3. The total score will be subject to an overall threshold of 10. So that means the proposals that they have more than 10 and more than 3 in each of the criterion, it could be an associated event. And then the proposals that they have higher marks in their rank, they will get funding until we exhaust the budget. And the scoring table is the following, so that from 0 to 5, and then you have like from poor to excellent. I will not read it out, but it's there for you. And then about the proposal submission. So then the novelties in Horizon Europe compared to H2020. There are some new fields in the Part A, which is the researchers table, in which this doesn't mean that the researchers that they will be participating in the events that you might organize or going to the schools. It means if any researchers that they are part of the people that they are putting forward the proposal, or researchers that they are going to work themselves in the project if you are awarded. Then the role of the participating organization and the self-declaration on gender equality plan. I will see more details in the next slide on that. Then fields moved from Part B to Part A is the ethics self-assessment, a new security questionnaire, and then information on participants' previous activities related to the call. And then new in the Part B is the consistency on the use of methodology ensured in all project phases, from work program to proposal and reporting. And then that now the Part B includes extensive explanations on what exactly should be included in each section, as I was commenting before. On the gender equality plans, there is now a corporate eligibility criterion in Horizon Europe. This is not specific only for the MSCA. And it will be applicable for public bodies, research organizations, and higher education establishments from EU member states and Horizon Europe associated countries. So minimum process-related requirements for publication, dedicated resources, data collection, and monitoring and training. Well, now the transition period that I comment here is over. So if you are one of these entities, so public bodies, research organizations, and higher education establishments, you will need a gender equality plan. And you have there below a link in which you have a lot of information about that. So detailing which aspects have to cover these gender equality plans. What is important is that it's not mandatory to have it at the time of the application, but it will be mandatory to have it before the project starts if you get funded. So that's important to know. So on the proposal submission, the specificities of the administrative forms, the Part A, so-called. So there will be there are other fields, but I will mention only the budget table, where the coordinator and partners will have to encode the requested grant amount for each of them. The associated partners, if any, they do not encode budget. As you see here, you have only the name of the beneficiary, the country, and then only the requested grant amount. Regarding the Part B, the templates for the Part B, there will be this time 2 documents. In the previous call, we had only the Part B. Now we have the Part B template plus an Excel file. So for the Part B template, well, as commented, it follows the work criteria and is telling you what you should put in each of them. The page limit is now 33 pages. Before it was 30, but now it's 33. And then there are instructions included in the template. And then once completed, in order to upload it, you need to save it as PDF file. Regarding the detailed budget table, which is an Excel file with macros, you will be required to download it and fill it in. And this is in the same place where you download the Part B template. And you will have instructions included in the Excel file. It has several tabs. The instructions are in the first tab. And very, very important, the annex must be uploaded as a separate document. Originally the file is in XLSM, so because it has macros, and then it must be uploaded either in XLSX or XLS in the submission system. So a normal Excel file extension. So how does it look, the IT system, so that you get a bit familiar with it? Well, here you have the link. So this MSCA and Citizens 2023, this would take you to the participants portal, well, the funding and tenders portal. This is the more appropriate name now. And so basically there you have all necessary documents. Maybe not all of them. For example, there will be the guide for applicants whenever it's ready, which should be in the coming days. Always before the opening of the call, work program, and many other useful links, as the links to the NCP network and other sources of information. Well, once the call opens on the 20th of June, you will have a link where you will click if you want to apply to the call. And then once you click on that link, you will come to a similar screen, because this is a testing screen, so it might not be exactly the same, but very similar. And then you will see where you can download the Part B templates, first of all. I highlight here that please submit the proposal at the latest 48 hours before the deadline. I would say that it's even better to submit it even before. You can submit it multiple times. If you submit it 10 times, it will only stay the last submission, because the other ones, they are overwritten. But I think that it's a good idea not to leave it to the very end, because you might have technical problems, or you might, let's say, forgot about these extensions that I told you about, that you might save it as a PDF, or so you might panic at the last minute. It's not a good idea. You can try to submit before, and then you submit again. This is important advice and good practice. So you click here on download the Part B templates, and this you will have a folder, and then within the folder you have the template for application Part B. So this is a Word document in which you have first the instructions, and then the template itself, and then the detailed budget table, which I have told you about. So this is separate. This is not in a screen, but this is just what you get when you click to download the templates. And then in the screen in the same screen as before, you have as well the part where you can fill the administrative forms, Part A. So you click here in Edit Forms, and you will go to this Part A, which you have to fill in, which as well has instructions, and they have not been changes. So this is as before, and so I will not stop on that. And then once you have filled in the Part B and convert it into PDF, you can upload it here. It is important to upload it and then to check it, because in case you will have more than 33 pages, you will get a warning. But anyway, it's a good practice to upload it and then to download it, so that you see that the file is not corrupted or nothing wrong happened when you upload it, and you see as well that you don't have any parts of the document that have been deleted, because everything after 33 pages will be deleted. So the experts will not see anything on that. So it's important to upload, download, and see that everything is okay. And then you will have no problem at all. As commented, Part B to be uploaded as PDF, and then the detailed budget table to be uploaded as XLS. And so this. Then we are, yeah, well, this is the warning, in fact, that is happening when you try to upload a document that has more pages than it should. In fact, I was uploading, in this case, the work from of Marie Curie, and you see it has 113 pages, which exceeds the limit of 30 pages. And then, yeah, I could see that the pages were watermarked and not visible after 33. So this is very important to check. And with this, we are coming to an end. I thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to replying to your questions.
Oscar, thank you very much for such detailed and informative presentations. And now we would like our participants to ask questions, and we have one question in in chat. As you can see, Vida wrote, if two applications from one country, one for researchers night plus one for researchers at school, could be funded?
Yep, that's a very bad idea. In fact, they should get together and apply together, because as commented, if they are not covering the full scope of the call, they will not be able to compete with other proposals that they do so. And they will not get full marks in excellence, so they have little chance of being funded, because it's a rough competition. That's a bad idea, very bad idea.
Yeah, so it is one proposal, and which has
yes,
two.
Or they do both research at the schools and researchers night. Yeah, either they join together, or each of them covers both aspects. Yeah.
Yes.
Both possibilities.
Dear participants, do you have any more questions?
I can jump in because we received some questions before the event during the registration. And one of the questions was about we are small countries and we cannot cover too many people because we are as much as we are. So the question was about the proposal. Would it be better to have one common proposal for a country, or how can you see with the similar countries which are also a small amount of people, like 1, 2, 3 million? Do they usually succeed with one common proposal, or is there already some success stories when there are few proposals for from a small country? So how could you elaborate this?
Yeah, I think would be very difficult to tell. I think that we have countries from which we receive a high number of proposals, but I think the success is not on the number of the proposals from a certain country, but on the quality of those. We have countries that they are more successful, and this is probably because they have a lot of experience that they have been applying for a long time. And as well, when they are big countries, of course, there are like there's more potential in those countries. But I would not say that. And as well, we give an indication of the budget, but of course the proposals can be smaller, bigger. As well, you can deviate from this bracket that we gave from 100,000 to 300,000. But if you do deviate, it has to be justified why you ask for more funding, for instance, because then you need to show best value for money, let's say. But I would say that if you have several institutions that they would like to apply, yeah, either they can join forces or apply individually. But I would say that it doesn't necessarily give them more chances, because as commented, the experts will see even if it is a small project, if it is good value for money, and it's well thought, they might go forward.
Okay, thank you. And the second question was about the involvement of NGOs in the MSCA and Citizens call. So is it common that NGOs also join this call, or any other type of organizations instead of only universities, research centers, and so on? So,
of course. I mean, like legal entities based in EU or cited countries are eligible for funding. So yes, of course. Yes, they can.
I also have one question regarding the researchers taking part in this researchers at schools, because it is encouraged, it is written in program, that they should be, it's nice if they was founded before by MSCA scheme, so MSCA postdoctoral fellowship, like for example.
Yes.
It is encouraged, but if we don't have such researchers, for example, in our project, we have in Lithuania, we have in Latvia, but in this project, in our proposal, we don't have. Is it a very big disadvantage?
I think that of course, I mean, is as everything that it is stated in the work program is nice if you can meet these wishes of the people that they were writing down this very crucial document. But having said that, I mean, it's not easy for anyone to reach researchers that they were Marie Curie fellows or that they were funded in Horizon Europe or previous framework programs. So I would say that it's obvious that in Latvia might be more difficult than in other places that have a higher amount of these researchers. So I think that it's good that you tell which is your strategy for that, maybe, and that you to put it in perspective, to say, okay, that here we have like this. I don't know if you have figures, but try to justify it. Like so if you justify it, I mean, the experts, they are not stupid, and so if you are in a country in which you have no fellows at all or very few fellows, I mean, you cannot be expected to make magic. So I think that once you justify it, you should not be penalized for that.
Okay, thank you. We have question from Valentina, but we have answered for that, for this small institution. We also have some comments from Vida Milazheni, but I'm not sure. Maybe Vida, the priority is given for applicants with Horizon 2020 experience, if that concerns institution, or say the project leader. Elena, do
I
you
believe
understand?
basically, yeah, I think I have in mind what is meant here. So basically, do you also evaluate the experience of an organization if they had previous projects in Horizon 2020, or if they are newcomers? Is there any difference in evaluation if they have already some experience in Horizon project or not?
Okay, in the part A, they put the relevant experience for the call. But I mean, and you have it, of course, you need to encode it, but I would not say that is crucial. I think it is more important how the partners come together. They have the necessary expertise, even if they don't have previous experience. I would not think that this is like very harming for a proposal. But of course, I mean, I think it might be maybe a bit more, might be more like credible for the experts if they have already a bit of experience. Some of the partners, maybe not all, but I would say that if it is a very well written proposal with a very wise set of partners that they put forward a very good proposal, I think they have very good chances of being funded as well.
And also, I just want to comment that they can add all the other project writing experience, project implementation experience, right? Not only Horizon 2020, because you need to prove that you have an understanding of how the project works.
Is your previous experience not necessarily related to Horizon Europe of previous framework programs? Yes, indeed. Yeah, you can be very experienced in organizing science events. And not unrelated to the European funding. So no, the experience is as valuable as. Yeah.
Yes, and also during my presentation, I will try to answer all your questions, because at one point, everyone was newcomer. And even if you don't have experience in night projects, probably you have experience on science communication, public engagement, outreach. All the university do open labs, open doors, science fair. So this is important. Have experience on put together researchers and citizens, but you don't need to be experienced in Researchers Night in Horizon 2020. If you can convince and show your expertise, your potential, I think is enough. I think before COVID, we had a twinning with NCPs from many countries that they never got a Researchers Night. And after the twinning, they were able to advise applicants for the first time, and they got funded proposals. So I think I'm encouraged always newcomers, because at one point we always be newcomers in our life, in our project. So anyway, during my presentation, I will try to answer and give you my advice and my ideas for applicants from Latvia and Lithuania.
I think we have a question because Martins have activated his microphone, right?
Yes, I have activated.
Okay, go on.
Hey guys, Oscar, I have a question to you. Thank you for the wonderful story. What's the competition rate usually for the applicants? Approximately.
What's the competition? Can you repeat? What's the competition?
Yes,
so basically the success rate, right?
The
Success
yes.
rate. Success rate. Okay. Yeah, I can give you rough numbers because it might vary from call to call, but I think that like around 25% success rate would be like maybe an average of the previous calls. Can be higher, can be lower, because it will all depend as well on how much funding the proposals are asking for, and so yeah. But it's not as competitive as other calls, so it's still a fair chance of getting funded.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And do you have approximate numbers how much organizations have taken part from Latvia, Lithuania previously?
In fact, I could try to gather some data, but I haven't. But I can try to find out and give that to Justina and Liene. But yeah, I have not checked that. I would need to check it.
Okay, cool. Then for the moment, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martis. We will take maybe one more or two questions from Vida. How much is experience in STEAM education and training of teachers important for researchers at school activities?
Okay. Like in fact, as commented before, I am not the expert that will judge the proposals, but of course I think that the most important thing is that you bring in touch the researchers and the pupils, and then the experience. I mean, I don't know as well how important can be, but this will be evaluated by real experts on the field. So, but yeah, like maybe Jesus will be able to give some insights on that,
Yes.
which is their approach on the
Yes.
schools.
Yes.
Yes.
I think in my presentation I have a comment related with researchers at the school evaluation. In the last calls, we received some comments from the evaluator related with the training to teachers and the training to researchers on how to communicate and on how to involve researchers with the schools. It's important to include in your proposal something more than just one event, like the researcher is going to the school, say something and come back. So they want the evaluator, the expert, are expecting more relation between the schools, the teachers, and the researchers. So you have to plan some activities during several months or a continuous collaboration, but researchers at the school is not just send some researchers to a school to talk about the research. It's just more than this. So it's so important to prepare training for teachers, training for researchers. So,
Well, for now, I would like to thank Oskars. He kindly agreed to stay with us until the end of the event. So if there will be any more questions to Oskar, he will be here. But now we had a really nice transition from Oskar to Jesus. So now I would like to introduce you to our colleague, Jesus. He's the head of unit of EU programs and technology transfer at Fundación Madrid. Correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Jesus is the coordinator of the Enterprise Europe Network in Madrid region and national representative for Spain. And he has been involved in NIGHT projects since 2010. So he has a really good experience with this. And from 2014, he is one of the national contact points for Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions in Spain. So, Jesus, we're very happy that you could join us. Thank you very much. And now I give you the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Liene. Thank you, Justina, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here and try to give you some advice and also some information about the Researchers' Night in Madrid. As Liene explained, I was involved in the Researchers' Night in Madrid since 2010, but when I started to be an NCP, I should be separate because of conflict of interest. But I will give you some insight and tips about how to prepare a good proposal for MSCA and Citizens now. So the Madrid Night, I will give you some results from last year, and this will give you an idea of the dimension of the event and the project in Madrid. Madrid is almost 7-8 million inhabitants, so you can translate to your country. And also I will talk about what is my opinion on small countries applications. So I will give you some tips and some ideas that you can take into account. So Madrid Night results in 2022. We had almost 10,000 participants in all the Researchers' Night activities. We involved 926 researchers in all activities. We organized 140 activities in Madrid region, and they were distributed in 7 cities across the region. And also our project is very peculiar because of our collaboration with many Latin American countries. So they prepare 300 activities in several countries in South America. Also, we organize 6 pre-events. It's really important to include in your proposal pre-events and also at least one post-event after the night. We create an awareness campaign that will reach almost 3.5 million people. The media impact of all communication campaign reached around 20 million. And the 96% of the answer of our questionnaire receive a positive answer about the activities and about the night. So this is, you can see the dimension and the size of the activities we had last year in Madrid. What about the consortium? So the consortium is, here you can see the different type of participants. The whole consortium was built up with 22 participants. One coordinator is my institution, is a public foundation from the Regional Ministry of Education, Science and Innovation. We had an important number of partners, beneficiaries, 6 public universities, the National Research Council with 10 institutes in Madrid, 1 National Research Cancer Center, 4 regional research centers from Madrid region, mainly materials, nanoscience, energy, and water. And also as a partner, as a beneficiary also, a supranational organization for the Latin American countries that is located in Madrid, but they participate with no budget. As Oscar mentioned, third countries are not eligible for funding, but they can join your project, but for free. Also, we include, at this time, we need to see if in this new call we can include cooperating bodies. Cooperating bodies mean institutions that help you and they organize activities, but they are not part of the grant agreement. So we had one foundation, the Spanish Rail Foundation, the one national university, the Distance National University, 3 private universities from Madrid, a scientific society, a National Research Aerospace Center, and our health institute. So you can see we had a public foundation, another foundation, a scientific society, university, research centers, and also you will see that we involve also non-academic entities, mainly companies in one activity. How we build up the consortium. Madrid is in a small region, but with an intensive research and development and innovation landscape with many and varied agents. So our institution created in the last 20 years an ecosystem, the Madrid +D ecosystem, that has a long-standing collaboration in different projects and initiatives. So for us, it was so easy to involve all the agents in the region in the proposal, because there is also a commitment. As you can see the last line, there is a mutual commitment for science communication. All of agents in Madrid were involved in many activities during the last year related with science communication. So you can see 2 examples. We celebrate every year the Madrid Science Fair, but also we celebrate and we organize the Madrid Science Week. The Madrid Science Week are 2 weeks where all the institutions related with science and innovation celebrate and organize different activities and trying to put together citizens and researchers and innovation. And also we have a regional system supported by regional policies that foster the science communications, the activities to put together researchers, research, and general public. So many of you ask about the staff involvement in this kind of project. So as you can see, the project will last at maximum 2 years. My recommendation is just prepare a proposal that covering 2 years and last 24 months, because it will give you enough time to prepare all the activities, all the reporting, all the awareness campaigns. So it's important to have this time frame. At coordination level, in my institution, there are 4 staff involved. And here I put you the person month approximately. 1 person is the coordinator, is my colleague Susana Perez, and per year she spent between 4 and 5 person month, full months working on the project. You have to think that there are some peaks in the timeline. So during August and September is very intense. The previous month, preparing the communication campaign, the awareness campaign, preparing the pre-events, also the researchers at the school. Researchers at the school is not implemented during the night day. It's implemented before the night. So it's like a pre-event and also a post-event. So here you can see 4 or 5 person months for the coordinator, managers probably between 3 person months, and support people also 2 person months. At the partner level, the commitment and the personal effort are less, but depends the commitment and also the allocation of tasks. So partner level, they use probably 1 or 2 managers, and the personal effort are between 2 and 3 person month per year. There are some novelties, and here I put you some information about 2021 call in Horizon 2020 and 2022-23 under Horizon Europe, and now the new call under the Horizon Europe program too. So in 2021, our consortium was a kind of the Nordic model. Only 1 coordinator, and the rest were cooperating bodies. There were 4 work packages, and the EU flagships that we were aligned. It was like the Green Deal, the Sustainable Development Objectives, and also the funding model was based on real cost. But in 2022, in Horizon Europe, everything changed. So you can see our consortium setup. It was 1 coordinator, 13 partners, plus cooperating bodies. And also some of the partners were work package leaders. So it was an important change in the structure of the proposal. The funding model changed, as Oscar explained. We moved from real cost to lump sum, and also the structure of the project, the work package, changed. So now we have 5 work packages, including the researchers at the school work package. And the EU priorities now is focused on the 5 EU missions. So you have to take into account this new feature, new requirements. And here you can see the structure of the work package in our project. Work package 1 is the awareness campaign, and the leader is my institution. Work package 2, activities during the night. Also, we are the work package leader. Researchers at the school, the work package leader is the National Research Council. There is another work package called impact assessment. Impact assessment is so important to explain in the proposal, because you need to assess the impact of all the activities, and if your project helps to change some situation in your country about science communication. And finally, the last work package is work package 5, is the management of the project. we advise all our applicants in Spain to follow this structure because it's the recommended structure from the call for proposal. You can add other work packages, but it's a risk because evaluators are used to see the projects with this number of work packages and this structure. Now I will give you some tips for a successful proposal. So in the excellent part of the proposal, you need to put clear objectives and a soundness methodology. You have to explain the stakeholders you are involving and also their engagement with your project. So we are talking about partners and cooperating bodies, but also you need to include stakeholders, other institutions, other ministries, Chamber of Commerce, that will help you to fulfill your project. Also, you need to include the EU missions that you are facing, you are approaching, and also the relevant disciplines that you will use to approach the EU missions. This is very important. And also, as I mentioned before, researchers at the school should be more than a one-time visit. So you have to think about activities in researchers at the school to help students to think about to be embarked in scientific careers at the university when they grow up. Also, you have to prepare a good promotion of gender balance, diversity, and inclusiveness in science, and how they are included in the activities. So you have to explain in the project that your project promotes the gender balance, the diversity, but also you have to include how this gender balance is included in all the activities that you are planning in your proposal. If we talk about the impact section, researchers at the school are crucial in this new program, and you have to explain on how you are supporting school teachers. So this is related with the question one of the participants put in the chat. You need to explain how, what type of activities, pre-events and pre-activities you are going to organize with the school teachers in order to support them. Also, it's important to have an estimation of the size of the different target audience, how many people you are going to reach, and also thinking about the impact of your proposal. So it could be a small project, it could be a big project, but it should be very realistic. So it's important to have in mind the size of the different target audience and how to reach all of them. Training researchers on science communication. This is something that you will read in the work program in the guide for applicants. You need to at least organize one pre-event with researchers where you will train them how to talk with general public, because sometimes researchers speak a language that the general public don't understand. So it's important to have at least one training per year to train researchers. Also, you have to try to explain how your project will translate into a long-term behavioral change in the region or the country. For example, if in your country or in your region, you have a report from the regional government or national government that the knowledge of the figure of the scientist or the research importance in the society is really low, you can argument this project will help to try to change in a long-term perspective the behavior change of your citizens on the research activity. Also, you have to include KPIs, indicators, in order to measure the impact of the project, and you have to be very realistic with the size and the importance of your project. You have to remark EU dimension of the project, promoting the European Union and the impact on the citizens' daily life, involving researchers from EU projects, not only Marie Curie project, but also other EU projects. It could be Erasmus, it could be Horizon 2020, it could be live projects on other projects that you have in your region or in your country. And also you have to include communication activities that they are original and innovative, because your target audience is general public, but also young people. So you have to think about how to communicate for attract young people using different means. Okay, you can use general communication tools like means like radio, TV, newspaper, but you have to think out of the box. You have to think about maybe you need to prepare communication activities in TikTok or all these social media or social networks that the young people are using. So you have to think about this, because if your communication activities are really traditional, you will get weaknesses in your proposal. And finally, if we talk about the implementation, the work plan of your project should be explained and aligned with the duration of the project. The number of work packages, as I told you, you need to be really aligned with the call for proposal test. So 5 work packages, I would suggest this is enough, and this is the perfect number of work packages. Also, the budget and the person month allocation with the project scale. So should be a realistic EU project. And don't forget about the risk management and the mitigation measures, and you have to explain in detail. If it's, for example, if there is the possibility of raining situation, strikes, COVID or pandemic situation. So you have to think about what kind of risk can appear in your project. Also, you have to explain your consortium resources, and also the role of each partner. It's important to explain who is who in the project and who is dealing with responsibilities. How the consortium complement each other. It's so important to explain and to convince the expert that your consortium is the best one to approach the project. Deliverables and milestones should be included according 1 year or 2 years project, and also include a Gantt chart. It's important to give a really good idea to the evaluators where are the tasks, the milestones, the deliverables, etc. And finally, I recommend 2-year projects. Follow the template and answer all the sub-captions in the layout. Consistent and balanced budget, as Oscar mentioned, should be very realistic, and try to explain the person month allocation. Realistic in the number of activities and also in the number of attendance. Don't try to say we are going to have 30,000 attendees, so should be realistic. The EU dimension involving researchers from EU projects and also Marie Curie fellows or even ERC grantees or other researchers is important. Also, my advice is try to involve non-academic sector, try to involve companies in the activities. Is something really interesting, and the expert evaluate in a positive way when the NIGHTS projects include companies in the activities. Try to set innovative activities, including not typical places for the organization. So some of the other activities will be in the university research centers, but try to have, for example, in the city center, in a square, in a cinema, or other places where usually there is no science. So it's good to use these non-scientific places. Pre-events and post-event, at least one are mandatory. I put this in blue because nothing is mandatory for the Commission. It's highly recommended. For me, it's almost mandatory. If you don't include a post-event, you will receive weaknesses. Researchers at the school is very important. Oscar said, if you are including researchers at the school in your proposal, you will get a lot of weaknesses in the excellent part of the proposal. And finally, include the human size of the researchers. how they present their hobbies, their normal life, and try to show that the researchers are regular people and they are among us. So, and try to show kids that one day they can become researchers. So this is my tips for a successful proposal. Here you can see some of our researchers in Madrid, and this is the email of our colleagues. And also, if you want to check, this is our website, nocheinvestigadoresmadrid.org, and you can check. And also, I will answer about the question related with small countries. In Spain, we had many applicants. We had some big projects, small projects with other countries. I know that there are projects from Spain and Greece. My advice also is it could be possible a project from Lithuania and Latvia together, different institutions. It's something, it could be possible. It could be small. It could be covering the whole country. I can see, because of the size of your country, I would suggest have one project for Latvia, one project for Lithuania, trying to merge all the institutions working on research. This it could be my advice, but also international partners and border countries is a good option to explain also international dimension. You can see in Spain it was funded one with the collaboration Greece and Spain, and we are not together. So geographically talking, and that's my advice is so don't be scared if you are a newcomer, and the success rate is really high. And if you prepare a really complete proposal, you have so many chances to get the funding.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesus, for sharing your experience and for such positive presentation. Thank you very much. As usual. Thank you very much. Dear participant, do you have any questions? Please turn on your microphone, cameras, and ask. Feel free.
While they are asking, I also advise to check in internet websites from other nights to take ideas, because okay, you can take some ideas. I remember an activity, I don't know from where, but I think it was from Greece, researchers in taxis. So it was like an activity, a researcher, it was in a taxi. So when somebody take the taxi, the researcher explain what kind of research they are doing. So you can think out of the box is important to prepare innovative activities. I think Vida is.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello. I would like